Good morning, Joe. Good to be with you.
Well, hey, tell us, yesterday we had Chuck Schumer on. He said that he felt like things were getting better on the Senate side. They put out an agenda for working Americans. How are you feeling on the House side? It's an up line for Democrats, but what are your chances of taking over the majority in 2014?
Well, Joe, I think we have a good chance. I think the polls clearly indicate that people agree with us on almost every issue that we've talked about in terms of growing jobs and making sure that people can make it in America. So from that standpoint, I think we're in good shape. Obviously, the political landscape is challenging given redistricting, but I think that given 6 months from now and given the budget that Paul Ryan has just offered, you know, last year, Hal Rogers, the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, referred to this budget as ill-conceived and unworkable. He can add unchanged this year. The budget that is being offered on the floor this coming week, is a budget which disinvests. I call it Ryan's retreat. It repeals the Affordable Care Act without repealing the revenues that the Affordable Care Act generates. He uses that for tax cuts for the wealthiest in America. He changes Medicare from a guaranteed program to a premium support or a non-guaranteed program in the years ahead, and he disinvests.
All right. He
disinvests in education and innovation and research and infrastructure, all the things that are necessary to grow our economy and grow jobs. I think it's a budget that I think is going to make the Republicans very vulnerable because the people are going to see a budget that they think does not help them.
So, Stinny, we've got a lot of people around the table, so now this is your 1-minute morning speech drill. So we're going to go around, and you're given a minute. I'll give you 45 seconds before the gavel goes down. A lot of questions. Chuck.
Hey, Congressman, if Democrats hold on to the Senate, they're going to do it because a bunch of candidates have promised to, quote-unquote, fix health care with legislation. What's one piece of legislation you could support that would fix the president's health care law? When you hear Alex Sink ran on this issue, a lot of Democrats are running on this issue when asked about repeals. So what's a piece of legislation you would support to fix health care?
Well, look, we're working right now on a piece of legislation that hopefully we could get done, which will make sure that we can deal with people overseas in a rational way who are working here in the United States. But there are a lot of things that we can address. Unfortunately, Chuck, as you well know, for the last 3 years, and a large piece of legislation that, like Medicare and other pieces of large legislation, need tweaking. We've spent 3 years to repeal the Affordable Care Act, repeal the protections that have been given to people with diseases that they now have, pre-existing conditions, seniors who are getting cheaper drugs, young people who have greater access under S-chip. So from that standpoint, I know I've run my 45 seconds. From that standpoint, yes, we could be making sure it works as intended and as is needed, but we've been spending 3 years obsessively focused on repeal.
Regular order. Regular order. All right, Bill.
Hi, Cindy. Bill Kristol here. You guys ran against Paul Ryan's roadmap in 2010. You ran against Paul Ryan's budget in 2012. You lost the House in 2010. You didn't win it back in 2012. Why is it suddenly going to work to demonize Paul Ryan's budget?
Well, because Republicans, like Hal Rogers, the chairman, say it's unrealistic and ill-conceived. And it's unchanged, Bill. And the budget is a budget to disinvest. The budget is to make an exceptional nation unexceptional. The budget is to really undermine the economy, to cut trillions of dollars from investment in making sure America is competitive worldwide. And it will undermine our people and working people in particular. So from that standpoint, you know, I think we can point to this budget as a budget that predicts, as the Wall Street Journal said, what Republicans would do if they took over the Senate and kept the House. The American people are going to reject that.
All right, Steny Hoyer. That's pretty good right there, huh? About 45 seconds to a minute. Steny, it's always great seeing you. Hope to see you in Washington sometime.
Well, it's always good to be with my timer.
All right, very good. Well, you know, because I'm so brief. You know,
yeah, right.
I got you, Joe. I always say. Thank you, Steny. Coming up next.